Alright, we are back with part 2 of Marubladewing's bust commissions. This is actually going to be a pretty short clip. I was surprised that it only took me about 30 minutes to color and shade this one. I work anti-aliased, so my lines are very sharp, and it allows me to quickly paint bucket in the colors on their own layer. I duplicate the line layer to do this. So I have one clean inked layer, and then the layer below it is also inked, but it allows me to just quickly paint bucket everything in. My favorite part is actually doing the makeup of characters. I actually have never worn makeup before, and I don't really know much about it, so I usually use their references. Somebody should teach me makeup, but I think I do an okay job. This character had like a lacy headband, if you remember from the first video I talked about it a little bit. I just kind of fluffed it, to be honest. I was going to go hunt for a lace texture, but I thought, oh, it's going to take me too long, and I'll have to use the warp tool to make it fit in, so I just said forget that. So here I'm shading. I usually shade with just like some funky color. The commissioner paid for a cell shaded commission, so that's what I'm doing here. For those not in the know, cell shading is like a very animated style of shading. It's comes from the term, or comes from the act of painting a cell back in the day, back before things were digital. And now I'm working digitally and trying to mimic an old style, but that's how things go. So I work with a pretty bright color just so I can see where my compartments are, and you'll see after a minute here I can change the colors. It goes pretty quickly. Like I said, I got done pretty fast on this one. I don't know why, but I thought it would take me a while longer, but it didn't. That's okay. More time for other projects. So I basically go through and I either paint it in or I draw it in. I draw the cells, I draw the shadow shapes. I like to work with triangles and squares in my shadows, especially like in the hair and on fabric. I think it just, I don't know, it looks good to me. I don't know, I just do art, I don't know, it just looks good. So here I'm selecting all the warm colors, and I'm using the saturation and hue tool to change the colors around to fit a little better. So I'm going back and forth, and I'm checking to make sure everything looks pretty good. Some colors are too dark or too light, so I'm kind of like adjusting and coloring, or I'm shading in the teeth. Some people tend to shade the teeth with yellow, like really light yellow. I would do that for a more realistic painting or portrait, but with cel-shaded characters or more animated characters, sometimes it makes their teeth look a little funky and dirty. If you've ever watched Batman the Animated Series, Harley Quinn would sometimes be shaded with yellow teeth, or like the shading would be yellow, and I always thought she looked like she had like really grungy teeth. Even though I know the bones and teeth are kind of a marrowy color, still, I don't know, I think the blue looks cleaner. I'm gonna get hate mail for that, but anyway. So, quickly adding highlights on a new layer above the ink layer. Looks pretty good. I kind of draw like H's, like stylized H's. I also go through and color my lines, putting kind of a stylized background in, and putting that border on, doing some effects and backlighting and fading out the smoke. Just little things here and there, adding the glow to their faces just to set them up a little bit, set them up better. And that's basically it. I think the next video I'll be putting up is probably my next update for Trying Human, my webcomic. So I guess we'll see you next time.